Hello everybody, the Green Man Bookseller here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about this book, Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. I think it's safe to say the vast majority of people are going to have a bit of idea about Alice in Wonderland and about what the storyline is, about Alice falling down the rabbit hole, sort of follows the white rabbit down the rabbit hole and meets various characters along the way, such as the Mad Hatter at the Tea Party and the Cheshire Cat, amongst others. Now, I've never actually read the book. I think there was an animated film done many years ago. It was either like a film or a TV program, which I've never sort of fully watched. And I think there was a Tim Burton film done in recent decades. Was it at some point in the noughties? Never actually watched that. But I have got a long-standing awareness of Alice in Wonderland and what it's all about. Last year, my wife and I went for a week's holiday in Llandudno in Wales, where I think Lewis Carroll, if I remember this rightly, he lived there for a while. I think he's at the very least he spent some time there. So there's a very strong connection with Lewis Carroll, and this is where I bought this book up that way. I thought I'm gonna buy it because I've never actually read it, and I want to read it. And I've just recently finally got round to reading it, and I mean it's very much a children's book, and I mean the main reason I wanted to read it myself was because, having grown up with sort of an awareness of like Alice and the story of Alice in Wonderland and the various cultural impacts it's had, I wanted to read it because of that. I thought it's about time I actually read the book. And even though it is very much a children's book, I did enjoy it. I'll be honest. The main reason I enjoyed it as much as I did is because it brought back a lot of memories of the holiday my wife and I had in Llandudno last year. Because there's an Alice. I can't remember what it's officially called, but there is an Alice in Wonderland trail, sort of around the town, and there's like statues of Alice. There's a statue of the White Rabbit, the Cheshire Cat, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and like the Queen of Hearts, and various other characters. And you can follow this trail around, seeing all these like statues and sculptures of these different characters from Alice in Wonderland. My wife and I, sort of one day, we sort of spent the day doing that, sort of going around town following this trail. And yeah, as I was reading this book, it brought back memories of primarily the two of us doing that trail, and to a slightly lesser extent, it just brought back memories of the holiday in general, being up in Llandudno. And I think that's probably why I enjoyed it so much, this story. Because, I mean, like I said, I started out reading it primarily for the sake of reading it. Sort of having grown up with an awareness of it and the impact it's had on culture and on society and various things. So yes, that's why I enjoyed it so much. I mean, would I recommend adults reading it if they've never read it before? Not sure if I would or not, but I mean, mainly because it is largely a children's book. But I mean, I ain't gonna knock any adults who do read it. I mean, I got a lot out of reading it, so it's. I suppose what I'm trying to get at saying that is, I wouldn't necessarily be going around up to adults saying, "Oh, this is an amazing book. This is a brilliant book. This is a fantastic book. You've got to read it. You've got to read it." I suppose I'd be more along the lines of, "Well, I read it because I just kind of mainly for the sake of it, and I got a lot out of it because it evokes memories of a holiday." And then I then leave adults up to decide for themselves whether to read it or not. Children, on the other hand, I would highly recommend this to children, to like youngsters. So, yeah, I would definitely say to youngsters, get out and read Alice in Wonderland. It's a good book to read. One thing I will finish up with, I'll finish the video on this little comment. Got to the end of Alice in Wonderland, and as I closed the book, having finished it, I suddenly thought, hang on a minute, where was Tweedledee and Tweedledum? I didn't read about them. Where were they? What's going on? So I did a quick Google search, and I discovered that Tweedledee and Tweedledum, they were in the sequel, in the book Alice Through the Looking Glass. You see, I grew up sort of knowing about Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and I just assumed they were in this book. Like, that's the assumption that I'd made, So I sort of came into this book thinking, sort of subconsciously thinking I'm going to be coming across them, and at the end of it, it's like, oh, where were they? Oh, they're in the sequel. Yeah, I was vaguely aware of the fact that there is Alice Through the Looking Glass, the sequel book. So, will I read that one? I don't know. But yeah, so that caught me a little bit by surprise, So, but anyway, that's my Saturday night sort of ramblings about Alice in Wonderland. Well, guys, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. And in the meantime, stay safe. Happy reading.